Alexio, just a little under 30 seconds to go in round one. You can see Russell trying to come back with hand combination.
Oh, beautiful hook kick. But we're watching Dennis Alexio, one of the most famous karate kickboxers, American kickboxers ever to grace the ring, and he's going against Mark Russell, a guy I have no idea about. But we gotta watch because Dennis Alexio is one of the most fun guys when it comes to kickboxing. He's got crazy kicks. He goes for the kill every single time. He only wants finishes, and I haven't seen this fight before. You probably haven't seen this fight before. Let's watch it together and kind of see what happens.
From Sacramento, California.
Sacramento.
Has a very impressive record of 55-1 with 50 wins.
55-1. It's all right. It's all right. Could be better. Could be 55-0. 55-1? What, you lost one fight in 56 fights? Come on. I'm actually undefeated. 1-0. Okay. Somebody asked for the 80s? You just got it. I love that intro. That's a sick intro. The prototype. What happened to kickboxing? Damn, this shit used to be fun. Still is, I love it. But they don't do it in America like they did back then.
In December of 1992, the Terminator headed down under to Australia. During a routine pre-fight inspection, 8 hours...
Usually we skip these intros, but honestly, I'm having too much fun with it. I am not skipping a second of this intro. 92. 5 years before I was born. I said that to make you feel bad. That was a weird fight, though. I don't know if you guys watched that one. I think he took one low kick and his leg buckled. Yeah, that's exactly how I remember it. So I wanted to do a review on this fight because there was this big hype about Longinidis and Alexio having their brawl.
Compression spiral fracture, which can only be caused by weight bearing and twisting by stepping in a hole, a soft spot in the ring. The Australians over there tried to pull some shenanigans and state that I broke my leg by blocking a kick, and they tried to pull a fast one and take one of my world titles, but it was changed immediately to a no contest because of the nature of the break, and that's how I broke it. You can't take 4 steps if you have a broken leg, especially if you break your tibia. I mean, I was more worried about my leg than someone trying to put a blemish on my record that wasn't warranted. I mean, the injury I suffered was a very bad one and could have been career-ending.
Damn.
If anybody's going to take my title, they've got to beat me in the ring.
The fallen champion was recalled for emergency repairs.
Yeah, he is good. He's got great boxing, too. Super sneaky kicks that he can hit from any angle.
The target was a prior victim, Dennis Mad Dog Downey.
I got in the ring 9 months later, which is really quick for the kind of injury I sustained.
Yeah. 100% it looked like he just buckled his leg on the mat. Doesn't really look like it happened from the kick. So we've seen that happen in MMA a lot frequently, or rather recently. And it's usually instantaneous if you break your leg that way. You break it and almost immediately they put their foot down and they go to the mat. But he did take a couple steps with it. So I would lean into that being a weird step which shattered his leg. Which maybe was initiated by the kick. So who's to know? Other than them in the ring. God, that haircut is horrible. I know, we're here to commentate fights, not haircuts, but I think I'd knock that guy out if he walked up to me with that haircut.
After about the 5th round, and it sounds like a good plan. Well, the big question is, how long can that cat and mouse game go? Interesting also, talking about champion Jean-Yves Theriault.
Jean-Yves Theriault, how does he get into every single one of these old school kickboxing fights?
He's a very aggressive, very powerful champion. He's got 50 knockouts in 56 fights. I think his
He's so much fun to watch.
that Mark Russell will be able to contain him.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear the champion's comments on Dennis Alexio.
Crazy to think that that guy's a killing machine. He looks like such a geek.
Shootout coming up in March. The native of Manchester, England, Mark
Looks in good
Russell
shape.
is ready to step into this ring. He's only 24 years of age.
24.
He said admittedly by arriving here at Lake Tahoe, he's had trouble with a time change in altitude. That may be the least of his worries as he gets ready to step in the ring tonight.
Yeah, Jean-Yves Theriault. We see him a lot at these fights as a commentary. He's probably the most frequent commentator we've seen. Is this his walkout song? Shut up. That seems like something they would put over, you know, the video that we're watching now. Not his actual walkout song, but that's pretty fucking badass. I respect that. Even though he's about to get killed. As always, I have not watched this fight. This is the first time I've watched Dennis Alexio probably knock out Mark Russell. I've watched Dennis Alexio a couple times. He's one of my favorites. My best friend growing up, his name was Alexio. No correlation between their first names. So I relate to him. He was Italian, though, not Hawaiian. I love it when he wears the grass skirts, though. Kind of feels like a bit of a cheat move, though. You can't see your opponent's legs at all. It's just a blur of, like, grass floating around as soon as you try to kick. These walkout songs. I'm not even trying to be overly nostalgic, but I think that we're going to get probably pulled off YouTube just for his walkout song right now. So, do we skip it? We let it play? I think for me, we're going to let it play. He's really embraced the Hawaiian culture. The fight culture of Hawaii is amazing. Really just all of those Polynesian, Micronesian nations. Obviously Hawaii's a state, but right, those cultures have such an ingrained idea, I guess, ability to fight, you know, vibe for fighting. It's amazing. My condolences to Hawaii for what they're going through with the fires. Super sad to hear about that sort of stuff. Figure I should mention it. If we have a guy fighting out of Hawaii, it's a terrible situation for them to be going through. And America should be doing more for them. And I say that as a man married to an American who loves America. It's kind of sad, the state that they've left Hawaii in. Thanks, Jill Biden. Useless. Fox. It pisses me off. Let's do it! Heavyweight kickboxing. PKC. Heavyweight championship. Dennis Alexio versus Mark Russell. Karate Mania. We usually don't watch the fight start to finish, but I feel like I'm, you know, kind of paid for the pay-per-view. I want to get the whole feeling of it. You know, that's why it's so much different to watch the UFC the next day versus when you're watching it live. You gotta get the build up, you gotta catch the walkouts, you gotta hear the songs, you gotta see them standing in the ring, you gotta hear the announcer, you gotta hear me talk over everything that's happening. You gotta hear me bitch. You gotta hear me celebrate. Let's go karate. Let's go karate. Part 2. Part 2 of the co-main event. So does that mean that there's a main event after this? So there's a double co-main event, and then there's the main event to follow? Part 2 of the co-main event. I have no fucking idea what that means. I wouldn't trust that guy from Virginia. Holy shit. I forgot that the referees wear the karate gi. Let's bring back referees wearing the karate gi. Bring some legitimacy to it. Manchester has a really good actual karate background. I guess karate history. 31-4, 19 KOs. Completely unverifiable. There's no way to figure that stuff out. I've tried to look up all of these guys' records. They are nowhere to be found, but apparently back then they had them together. I feel like a lot of these records are beyond fluffed up when it came to the sort of full contact days, the professional karate days. Except for Dennis Alexio. That man's 55-1 and 1. Guy's such a beast. The rat tail. 50 KOs. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time, and I feel like a lot of people have swept him under the rug. He needs a lot more love. Well, we're 12 minutes into this video and we have not watched the fight yet. If you stuck with me this long, I'm amazed. But this is basically a podcast about this fight now, and we're doing it together. Kicks and punches above the waist. It's such an interesting rule. Like, I wonder what the initial thought process was around that. Hey, we're making the unified rules for karate. What do you guys want to do? Well, don't kick him in the legs. What the fuck's the point of that? Okay, fair enough. We'll just keep it to the body and the head. Fight a Thai guy one time. Yeah, maybe we should kick the legs. But honestly, it makes the fights a lot more fun if you ask me. Wearing these funky little karate shoes, shit ton of boxing, very snappy kicks. And look at the boxing out of Alexio. His hands are so good. They really fight like the modern Japanese guys. The modern Japanese kickboxer looks like the American kickboxer of the 80s. Like, we need to bring back this style of fighting. It's honestly so impressive. Like, a kick doesn't need to be full hip into it every single time. Sometimes you can just snap it, right? That hurts a little bit more, digs a little bit, right? It's not going to drive your opponent away or cut them in half, but it might just land right on their organ and make them sort of sit down on top of that organ a little bit. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Nice lead hook there. And shifting in with his lead hook.
I don't know that he's psychologically ready for this Alexio power at this point. Alexio, just a little under 30 seconds to go in round one. You can see Russell trying to come back with hand.
Oh, a beautiful hook kick. Right, not just a spinning back kick, not just a spinning wheel kick. It's a hook kick. He brought that leg up and around and then flipped it in. Flipped it in. Right on the back of his head. Now he went to the body. Brilliant. Right, if you're going to go spinning hook kick to the head, let's switch to the body right afterwards. Smart. That's good strategy. Open up those holes, right, by attacking something else. Get them worried about something just so you can continue to attack kind of the more sensitive areas of the body, right? We're opening up the arm to the head to make them block that, bringing it down to the body, open up the head. Dennis Alexio is a brilliant athlete. Yep, shifting in with that lead hook. Oh, I should play that back. He's really good at attacking from off angles. It's hard to tell what strike is going to come next. And that's sort of what I was trying to say with the kicking. Right? You don't exactly know where his kicks are going to go. You don't know where his punches are going to go. And you know every single one's going to hit hard. So you sort of have to give it a legitimate reaction every single time. And if you make one mistake, then you're smashed to the head or body. And it's hard to fight a guy with this kind of power. It's good boxing at a mark now. All right, trying to tie up. All right, land a couple strikes and just not stay in a range where he's constantly getting hit. But it's just the Terminator is so confident in how much power he has. He'll literally drop his hands and just keep walking into you. And just sit you down. It's done. Oh, he doesn't stand a chance. Man, just stay down. Like, where are the kicks coming from? They snap up so quickly out of his lead leg and still maintain so much power. All of his boxing from basically every range is like knockout worthy. Good combination, head, body, uppercuts, hooks, digging, every angle. That's good boxing. Let's play that back. Looked like it landed kind of odd. I like slowing things down a lot. Alright, so he went jab. That round kick to the body landed perfectly, framed with his lead hand. I really like it when fighters do that sort of stuff, where they're boxing, they sort of just stick their hands in between the guard just to hold their opponent there for a second. But the initial response from their opponent is to think defense, and not necessarily, oh, I'm getting into sort of this grappling scenario where I need to deal with pushing that hand off of me, or I need to do something to control that arm, right? Their initial response almost always is to continue to think kickboxing, boxing, where it's like head movement, block with the hands, and not necessarily push it off. So really, really smart to work that into your techniques when you're smashing your opponent from every angle anyways, right? Jab, round kick, right? Really hitting him from every single angle. But again, sticking that jab in there and just holding it for a moment just to set up that uppercut. And again, one more time. Boom. 3 times in a row he goes for that technique. All right. He sticks the hand in there, uppercut right behind it. Sticks the hand in there, right hook right behind it. Sticks the hand in there, one more uppercut behind it. All right. It's such good control to every aspect of that interaction, I guess. Boom. All right, off balance, beautiful left hook to the body, round kick to follow it up, to double punish that liver. All right, boom. Just missing that right hand and flowing away. He's dropping that. Oh, his hand's almost back to his face, but that left hook sneaks in right afterwards. Really, Mark Russel never had a chance in this fight. He was so outclassed every step of the way by really the best kickboxer in the planet by far at this moment in time, which Stan Longinidis would have something to contest with. Yeah, fun fight to watch. It's always good to get into these old school kickboxers and kind of go from there. But all right, I love Dennis Alexio. I love the way he moves. He really stays in the fight the entire time with the goal to finish, right? It's never just to participate in the fight. It's never just to point his opponent out. He really wants to knock out his opponent every single time he's in there, and that's why it's always fun to watch him. It's always interesting to watch him, because if you're knocking out your opponent every single time, you're not just playing games. You're not treating it like a sport, right? You're thinking strategically to break your opponent down, you know, play into your strengths, wear down all of their strengths in terms of their defenses, and open up these big holes to get the finish. That's why I love watching every movement out of Dennis. Again, short feint there. Just showing a lot of different looks, not opening up his guard too wide. He's never really overreacting to anything. He has so much confidence in his ability to hit back that I think he has a very relaxed guard. Right? He knows that he can always smash his opponent if anything's going wrong with a kick or a punch to the head or the body with either hand, either leg. That he can be pretty relaxed when his opponent's attacking him and allow himself to find these really amazing counters, or even just shift in with that lead hook as his opponent is shuffling away. And this is actually a really interesting sequence right here, which is common in almost every striking martial art, where your opponent watches feet. So his feet right now, his left leg is going to come into his right leg. Sorry for yelling into the mic. His left leg's going to come into his right leg, and he's going to shuffle off. And you've seen that right there. I didn't even watch that the first time. I was just looking at his upper body and knowing that's exactly how he's moving. There's a guy, I think Barry something on Instagram, but he does a whole breakdown on his page about... Barry, what the hell is his last name? On shuffle stepping or rhythm stepping. And rhythm stepping is the type of footwork that doesn't take you anywhere. It sort of leads you into a specific angle every single time that allows your opponent to almost just throw any left hook or any right hook, and you're inevitably going to run into that punch just based on this footwork, which is what we saw right here. All right, we see him step back. He's sort of bouncing in his legs, and just as he's about to step away, all right, lead foot steps out. All right, there it is. Rear foot's taking the step. Lead follows, going out, and bang, he's popped right as his feet lands. And that's a perfect example of why the rhythm step is such a dangerous piece of footwork to get into as a defensive piece of footwork, because it's almost the exact same footwork out of Alexio on the offensive side, but right, defensively it's so poor. Right? There's no way to really defend yourself in that moment when you're shifting away. And just watch the way that Alexio actually, again, almost the exact same footwork at the same time, shifts in and hits him with that lead hook. It's super interesting to see how one footwork can either kill you or it can end the fight. Anyways, that's pretty much all we got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Connor. This is Right Out MMA. Leave a subscribe, leave a like, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Bye.